Hello and welcome to Talk Time on Luga TV. I am Dominion Adeyemi. Joining me in the studio today is the Special Advisor on Energy Matters, Adeyemi Bode Adeyemi, who also doubles as the Chairman Kogi Forum of Special Advisors. Thank you very much for joining us today, sir.
My pleasure to be here, and good day, Kogites.
Thank you, sir. So briefly, in the last 1 year, what can you say about the administration of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo?
Thank you. The last 1 year has been so eventful. It's been so engaging. It's been so results-oriented. And, of course, it makes every Kogite to be forward-looking. His Excellency Adeyemi Ahmed Usman Ododo, FCA, has demonstrated unusually and in a very unprecedented manner astute leadership. He has shown commitment to providing good governance. He has demonstrated responsiveness in leadership, and he has proven to be a very responsible leader who is more concerned about the welfare of the people, the security of the citizens of Kogi, and the general well-being of the people. So, in the last 1 year, I can only relate what the people on the street are saying. I can always confirm, based on what those especially are not politicians and not part of government. Those that you ordinarily expect to be the critics of government, or those that are known to belong to quarters where government is criticized, especially in a very negative way. But what we have received have been positive commendation about the personality of the governor, about the delivery of good governance, about the quality of leadership that he has brought to bear over the last 1 year.
Yeah. Thank you very much. In your office as a Special Advisor on Energy Matters, can you tell us what has been going on?
Well, in the area of energy, especially power generally, Governor Ododo has shown also to be a leader with the understanding of the sector. Don't forget that he has had a stint in that sector while he was a private citizen, and the dimension with which he has approached governance in the power sector has shown that he is one individual that does not want to just work with from the surface, but an individual who is ready to provide an enabling environment for that sector, not only guarantee availability of power, but also guarantee affordability and accessibility. He's a governor that have began very well in that sector. Don't forget that before the Bola Ahmed administration came on board, power sector used to be on the exclusive list, and power generation and distribution used to be an exclusive of federal government and the quasi-government, because I see distribution companies in Nigeria more as quasi. You cannot conclude that they are entirely private institutions, because in any institution where government sees show more interest in running, you cannot completely say has been privatized. But under Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, the monopoly of government in generation and distribution of power was actually made more convenient for subnationals, that is the states, and also interested business owners, to become important stakeholders in power generation and distribution. And being a very responsive leader, and of course a governor who understands the workings of the power sector, who is not only interested in providing power at the basic level, but also making the power sector to become a functional sector through which we can generate economic renaissance as a state. We started with establishing relevant agencies that can guarantee a very competitive business environment for power in Kogi State. And the moment he became a governor, the first he did was to send bills to the State House of Assembly, 2 bills especially to establish very critical agencies that are going to be fundamental to business of power in the state, which is the Kogi Electricity Market Bill and the Kogi Electricity Distribution Kogi Electricity Distribution Agency Bill. And kudos to the members of the parliament who have for their very responsive approach to it. Both bills have scaled through the various process of legislation and are now laws in Kogi. So as we speak, we have Kogi Electricity Market that is responsible for business of electricity, maybe selling and buying of electricity and all that are associated with electricity. And also the Kogi Electricity Regulatory Commission that is responsible for providing regulatory responsibilities. That is to say, the government is not just concerned about you have power, you have light, but also ensuring that where investors are present, investors' interest is put into consideration, marketers' interest is put into consideration, and also the consumers' interest is also factored in. That's why we have such agency. And the beautiful thing, the most unprecedented thing that will happen is that since the creation of Kogi for the first time, Kogi is now responsible for business of regulatory or regulation of electricity now. So we are no more under National Electricity Regulatory Commission in Abuja. I can confirm to you that majority of states in Nigeria are still there. So we have moved from that pedestrian level to a more advanced level of being responsible for managing the electricity and power ecosystem in Kogi State. So for me, before a business atmosphere can succeed, there are certain foundational activities that must be carried out. And because he's a responsive and responsible leader, the first thing he did was to, first of all, make that to be in place. And today, every issue that has to do with electricity, management, regulation, and all of that starts and ends in Kogi. So if you have a complaint, if you have anything you want to do that has to do with electricity management, you don't have any reason to travel to the Abuja neck again. Meanwhile, some of these states that appear to most Nigerians as more developed are still on that neck.
Yes.
So we must commend the governor for being such an ingenious leader, for being such a detailed person, because it takes a detailed leader who wants the best for the state, who wants us to go beyond the domestic consumption and distribution of electricity to industrial, aspect of it. And I can confirm to you that once such foundational requirements are met, then the next is building on that. That is to say, by way of providing more power. And that means that you must make power infrastructure more resilient and available. You know, I said it earlier that it is not just about making power available. I can confirm that it is not all the megawatts that we generate that are distributed. And it's not all that we distribute that are used. And this is because of the dearth of infrastructure in the power sector. And it's also because of dearth of strong regulations and relevant institutions to make all of this to work. So what we have achieved under 1 year is that we have put in place relevant institutions that makes power sector more attractive to investors to come to Kogi State. So, and I can confirm to you that as we move forward, we're not going to making the power itself more available to the people. And not just available. You can have something available and you cannot access. There are a lot of villages that are connected to power lines, but that cannot access electricity because of all of these factors that we have mentioned. So Kogi is ready to fly. We are not walking. We have gone past that level. We want to fly now. And the reason is because the governor understands the place of power in industrial, economic, and general development of any society. So far, we have a commissioner that is also an experienced hand who has worked for decades in the power sector, who understand what to do to promote power development in Kogi. We have a system that is the regulatory commission, the market. We have professionals that are, of course, respected and celebrated, in charge of various aspects and producing results. So I can assure you that beyond they have taken light, they have brought light. Industrial revolution will begin to pick up in Kogi, because of course the foundation of any industrial revolution is power.
Yeah, that's a very commendable feat from your office. Well done, sir. What initiative or policies implemented by Governor Ododo's administration do you think has been most impactful or innovative? Because you will agree with me that in the last 1 year, since the emergence of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo on seat, he has implemented so many initiatives and policies. So which do you think has been most impactful or innovative?
The last time I was at the studio for an interview like this question was the toughest I found to answer among several questions I've been asked. Because we have a governor who is touching everywhere and who appear to be doing it as if we are just starting. Let me start from the civil service. I was the special advisor on civil service and labor during the last administration. So I think I have a benefit of insight and information. The previous administration under Alhaji Yahaya Bello met salary at 18,000 plus. Because he's also a civil service lover governor, he increased salary from the 18,000 to the 30 or 35,000 minimum wage that time, and he sustained payment of salary despite the poor allocation that was coming. And being an ingenious and forward-looking leader, he brought on board a successor who is now consolidating on what he left behind. Of course, that's why the government is called government of continuity and consolidation. Governor Ododo scored his first in civil service development. In the history of wage increment in Nigeria, it has always required civil servants and union leaders to go on strike before any governor will agree to increase salary. But the moment federal government and labor union agreed on 70,000 minimum wage, this governor did not wait for anything to happen. He did not just increase salary to 70,000. As we speak today, the most unprecedented thing that has happened to Kogi is that civil servants in Kogi are receiving salary more than federal government civil servants. So now most of the people that come to us for job security, now they don't care whether it's state or federal. What we used to hear was, give me a federal government job, give me this. But today, the level at which people have shown confidence in civil service in Kogi is the way to answer that Ododo has scored #1 in civil service development. Apart from that, I'm glad to say that this is the 4th governor I will serve as a special advisor. So I can give you historical background of governance in Kogi, at least from Ibrahim Idris, being an insider. And I can confirm to you that when you talk about roads infrastructure, no governor has been so strategic and has gotten it right like Ododo is doing it. The first time I will see a governor in Kogi constructing hinterland roads is under Ododo administration. Before now, what every administration will try their best to do is to touch the major cities of each of the senatorial districts. But there's hardly a local government you can go to in Kogi today and you don't see one road construction or the other. I'm from Kogi West. In the last 1 year, I've traveled to all the 7 local governments of Kogi West, and I can confirm with all confidence that there is no local government in the entire of Kogi West that does not have 1 or 2 road network that have been attended to by this government. And I'm aware the same thing is happening in Kogi Central. And I'm aware, recently we just flagged off Ida Township Road. We know the last time that was constructed. The Bello administration did Ankpa Township Road. We know the last time that was done. Apart from several projects that are going on. Now, let's go to education. In the area of educational development, when the last administration was going, there was some legislations that were made to make educational access to indigent students more convenient. And that was to make free education at primary and secondary level, public schools. And for an administration like that of Adeyemi Usman Ododo to continue on that, for me, is something we must comment. It did not just continue on that. The administration also has continued to make free all external examinations. That is the basic primary exams, the junior secondary exam, the WAEC exam, the NECO exam, and JAMB are all free of charge in all public schools. There's no better way to bridge the gap between the children of the poor and the rich in accessing education than this. Because the government believes that the only people you find in public schools are children of the poor.
Yeah.
And if the children of the rich can access good education and can write an exam in their private schools, then it should be a right of the children of the poor to access the same thing. Ododo is doing that. Yes. I've mentioned education. Yes. I've mentioned road infrastructure. Yes. I've mentioned civil service. Yes. I can confirm to you also in the area of health sector development. Every administration in Nigeria and in the state have always prioritized tertiary and secondary healthcare delivery. That's why we have some functional general hospitals, some teaching hospitals, and all of that. But most of the administrations have not been able to find solutions to primary healthcare issues. And unfortunately, most of the people that access most of these general hospitals and the rest are also individuals that have the opportunity and the economic capacity to access private healthcare facilities. So if you know you have healthcare program for poor people, it must target primary healthcare delivery. When you target primary healthcare delivery, you are already targeting our women. You are already making childbirth more convenient. Yes. You are already making children growth more convenient. You are already making epidemic not to happen, because it has to be from the larger population of people that cannot access healthcare for epidemic to spread out. But as I speak to you, under one administration, in less than 1 year, almost 100 primary healthcare centers are being constructed. Yes. I've never heard that before. Where the man is saying the money, I don't know. And apart from constructing new primary healthcare center, about 60-something, about 80-something, I can't remember immediately, existing primary healthcare are being renovated. I'm from Kababino local government. I can confirm to you that under one governor, in 1 year, 10 primary healthcare centers are in Kababino local government. So there's no better way to define good governance in terms of area of health development like the way Governor Ododo is doing it. Now, as I speak to you, Kogi State Prince Abubakar Audu University Teaching Hospital had almost gone into extinction before the Ododo administration came. I'm sure you were part of the media crew that went for the unveiling of the construction and general project execution in that institution running to billions of naira. It takes a governor that is concerned about the health care of the people and is also determined to make even distribution of this to remember all of these places. Of course, we are not surprised he's following the footsteps of his predecessor. Now, area of security, which is supposed to be the primary responsibility of government. I can confirm to you that Governor Ododo has demonstrated unusual proactiveness in ensuring that every Kogite is safe, whether in their houses or on the road. And he has invested hugely in security in Kogi. Kudos to the State Security Advisor, Commander Jerry Madara, who is deploying his experience as a retired military personnel to make sure that despite the existing security challenge in Nigeria, you agree with me that this is not the best of time for us as a country in terms of security. And if we have agreed that we are facing unusual security challenge in Nigeria, for a state like Kogi, that is in the middle of Nigeria, that is bordered by not less than 10 states, you can imagine the kind of security challenge that will be coming daily. But we have a governor who's ready to give much more attention than the way the security challenge are coming. Even though we are experiencing a few security breach here and there. One thing that is constant is that the governor have always shown proactiveness to make sure that they do not find a safe haven in Kogi, and is making Kogi hot for criminals and providing security in a way can make it happen. And for me, before you talk about security, you must talk about justice. One of the things that promoting security, apart from unemployment and poverty, is also injustice, especially when it comes to coordinated militia security situation. Because we have a governor who does not develop the state along ethnic lines, but along the composition of the state. What you get in Kogi Central is what you get in Kogi East,
yes,
and same to Kogi West. That on its own will reduce security issues. And since we have agreed that poverty is a fertile ground to recruit insecurity, I've not seen a governor that have confronted poverty in a very coordinated and systemic way like Ododo is doing. Apart from the fact that it's providing job opportunity for young people, apart from the fact that it's providing infrastructural development in terms of road, in terms of all of this that we have mentioned, apart from the fact that it's doing free education in public schools, paying for WAEC fees, doing all of these things that can reduce what can be economic burden on the people, that can propel security unrest. The governor is also making sure that youth involvement in governance and youth empowerment is what is a priority to his administration. As a matter of fact, this administration has gone beyond paying salary, doing infrastructure, doing employment, to the point of practically making foodstuff available to the people. In 2025 alone, I'm aware that this administration has distributed food items more than twice.
yes.
It has never happened, and it's not happening anywhere in Nigeria, except we are not reading it in the papers or watching the TV. So these are activities that a man will do, and you conclude that this is a humane leader. There's nobody that will argue with you, whether opposition or ruling party, whether politician or non-politician. Everybody has a consensus opinion about this governor, that is a humanitarian personified governor.
That's true.
He has demonstrated humility in a manner that a lot of people now begin to wonder where that kind of a man comes from. He has demystified the office of a governor in a manner that people now don't see what is a big deal about governor. It took the intervention of many people around the governor to encourage him to increase the number of vehicles in his convoy. When he first became governor, I remember that I was part of his movement to a few government institutions in Abuja. As a matter of fact, we saw cars running into our convoy because not so many people knew that the governor was passing, because of how simple, how humble, how unassuming he has brought governance to. For me, it only takes God to have a leader like Ododo at a time like this.
Yes, that's true. Very commendable feat from the governor of Kogi State. Briefly, as the chairman Kogi Forum of Special Advisors, how will you rate the performance of the special advisors in their individual offices?
The governor would not have been identified as a performer if the appointees under him have not been doing very well. Let me start from where we are. Special advisor to the governor on media. A lot of people come and say, that your governor is doing well. This your governor. And I told them, I said, it's the product of having coordinated, experienced, and outstanding persons in the media team. By the grace of God, I've been a journalist of more than 20 years experience. And I know as a fact what journalism is, what public relations is, what reputation management means, and what government institutional management like this is. And I can confirm that very unprecedentedly, we have a team that is delivering excellently well. So that's why whatever they are doing in the villages, you are seeing it everywhere, and people are feeling the positive vibes of governance in Kogi State. Now, we have talked about education. We have an outstanding commissioner who coordinated the establishment of 2 universities under 4 years. And as I speak to you, none of the university is up to 6 years. And I can confirm to you that the latest one will admit students for the 3rd time since establishment. It means that we have a commissioner that is doing well. We have a special advisor in that area that is doing well.
Yes.
We have talked about humanitarian activities here. It's because we have people in various fields that are doing well. So I can confirm to you that the set of special advisors, specifically that we have, are individuals that are aware of the realities of their environment, are individuals that are aware of the responsibilities of their offices, and are individuals that are readily available and responsive to meeting the demands of their office in manners that makes the governor to be seen as a performer. And that's why today we are celebrating, in the overall interest, the success of the administration. So I want to say that in the last 1 year, the set of special advisors we have produced are individuals that have complemented governance of the governor and have made Kogais to see that truly governance can work in their state.
Yeah. Thank you. Lastly, what areas do you think are the most pressing that needs to be addressed?
You see, government is a function, or the success and performance of a governor, of a government, is a function of availability of resources. And since resources on its own is a scarce commodity, it is impossible for every government to achieve its task 100%. I know that we still need to do more in terms of reaching out to more number of people, in terms of empowerment, in terms of employment, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of all of these that I've mentioned. I know that if there are more resources, this governor will extend free education to private schools. I know that if there are more resources, this governor will extend road construction. We'll not be talking of local government now. We'll not be talking about world road construction. So there are lots of still be done. But one thing that is certain, one thing that nobody can argue or challenge, is the fact that the governor has done justice to the resources available to him in a manner that you think he has gotten more than what he has gotten. So we always have more places where the attention of government should go to. But for now, we have justified the reason for the governor being elected into office.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us today, sir. Thank you
pleasure
for
to
taking
be here.
time to be here with us.
Thank you so much.
And that's it on Talk Time on Lugard TV. We've had a well-packed discussion with the Chairman Kogi Forum of Special Advisors on the good governance of Kogi State. Until next time, I am Dominion Adeyemi. Thank you for staying with us.